and welcome back. In this very video we'll be learning how to do frequency separation. However, the unique thing about this very class is that we'll be creating our own frequency separation action and then applying it on other pictures. There are several frequency separation plugins. There is the Retouch Academy and lots more, but we are creating our own. So we'll call it Fill frequency separation. So frequency separation. Alright, so that's our frequency separation. We start recording. Okay, the very first thing we want to do is to come to layers and duplicate our image into 2 layers, and then name this to high and name this to low, and then we want to come to the high frequency separation layer and off it. Before this, all we want to do is come to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Okay, and then we'll blur it at a particular value, so let's blur it at 5. Okay, and click OK. Click OK. Alright, then we come back to our history and toggle this so that whenever this action is being played, that value can be fixed in. So we'll come back to the high frequency separation layer, and then we come to image, apply image, and we subtract, and the scale is 2, offset is 128, opacity is 100, RGB merged. So what we want to do is we want to subtract the low frequency separation layer from the high frequency separation layer, and once we're done, it's going to be gray. If we get it correctly, this is going to turn automatically to gray, and we click OK. Once we click OK, there we go. So we can change this to linear light, but before that we duplicate this layer, so we clip it into this layer. We clip it by pressing Alt and bringing our mouse in between the two and clip. Okay, so once we've clipped that, we want to create another new layer in between this high and low. So we'll just create a new empty layer and rename it as correcting tones, and then we want to select the first and the last layer and group and name it as frequency separation. There we go. We can open it and we can start retouching this picture. And so that is our action. So we can come back to the very place where we started recording and we just stop recording. So when we stop recording, it saves this action for us and we can apply it to any image. Now there's a little mistake. So we'll just come back, select the last and continue recording. We'll come back to our layers and change this to linear light. We change the blend mode to linear light. Okay, and having done that, we come back and stop recording. Alright, so come back to our layers and watch. Now we can apply this very action now to any other image. So let's go back and open the other second image that we worked on earlier. Okay, this was the one we worked on and we liked. So what we want to do is to come to our actions and remember the name of the action we saved. This is the name of the action, Fill frequency separation. So we just click on this, it applies automatically. However, there's a challenge. We had wanted the blur to come up, but it didn't come up, so I'll have to check to the very spot where we added blur. The Gaussian blur, we need to check this. When we check this, we come back and apply. So let's delete all these layers that let's just delete the frequency separation group and content. We delete. So we come back here and see our action again. Gaussian blur is marked checked. We click on this now. Because we checked it, it pops up and asks us what's the value we want to fix. So we can maybe use 5. We can decide to use 5.5 and click OK. And once we do that, it creates those layers for us automatically. You can see the action has been created. So from here we can go further to start retouching this picture. So what we want to do first is to up this layer so we can see the low frequency layer, and the next thing I want to do is to duplicate the low frequency layer in case I make mistake, so I can always refer to the lower one. So I want to come select the image. Okay, I would use this the lasso tool. Okay, the lasso tool, I would ensure that it is feathered at a particular figure. You can feather 12, 10. So I'm using 14 to feather this image. Your feathering size will depend on the size of your image. Okay, so let's do it quickly and see what we can achieve by retouching this picture. Now, the advantage of what we have done today is, in case you are stranded and you don't have Retouch Academy and other retouching softwares for frequency separation, you can easily use these ones. I want to believe you know how to select this very image with your lasso tool. If you haven't, please go and refer to our previous courses. All I'm just doing is clicking and dragging, and when I click drag, I'll come to the origin, the point where I originated from, and then I leave it and it connects. Okay, I just click, hold and drag, and I hold and drag, I leave it at the place where I started from. Click, hold and drag and leave it. Click, hold, drag, and then when I return back to where I started, I leave it. Click, hold, drag, and then I'm using my space bar to change it to the pan or hand tool. Okay, so alright, so there we go. So let's come pick this hand, click, hold, drag, use my space bar to change it to hand so I can move it easily. Okay, now don't mind the mistake I just made there. Now we're going to come back and minus that. So click, hold, drag, we'll come here, hold my alt key and minus. Mind you, the reason if you check the lasso tool, it's actually on a plus because this is on a plus already. So if yours is not on the plus, it's not going to work. It's going to be adding. And okay, let's say for example it was here. If I want to select another layer, the previous one disappears. Let me undo, Ctrl Z to undo, and then ensure that it is on a plus, and I continue. So I come here and I add continuously. You can also use your shift key or the alt key to change. When I hold my alt key, now it changes to minus. If I leave it on like that, if I hold my shift key, it changes to plus. Okay, so that is it. So you use your shift key as a shortcut to make your work faster by changing the addition of your selection tool, your lasso tool. Okay, it also works, it applies to most other selections tool too. So you want to experiment. Okay, we'll select this too. Okay, want to select all this, don't select. Alright, let's assume this is very okay by us. The next thing we want to do is Ctrl J to duplicate, Ctrl J to duplicate, and press Ctrl and bring your mouse to the center of this thumbnail until it changes to this very icon, and you click, it selects, then you come to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. So I want to blur maybe at 20, and once I get that blur value, I Ctrl D to deselect, and then want to check to see the effect. Okay, and we're off and on. That's the effect of what we just did now. I think I like this, so I want to merge these two layers. The layer 1 I created by this selection, and then I merge it with the layer initially. So just right click and merge layers, or Ctrl E to merge. Okay, now having merged it, we want to off this high frequency layer to see if there are places that we will need to blur. to still work on. So this is my mixer brush. Ensure that your wetness is around 8 or between 2 to 8 or 10. Your load will be the same, 75, your mix 90, your flow 100, and this should also be 10%. So you want to look for the parts on the face where you couldn't blur, and use your mixer brush to blend it. Use your mixer brush to blend it. Okay, so having done that, you go over it. Now you know we actually dodged this place, so you want to blend it. Okay, and if there's any other place that is not well blended, you want to blend it and ensure that you have a perfect image. And when you're done blending, the next thing you want to do is to flatten your image. Okay, and when you are mixing, please don't forget you're supposed to mix along the shadows or along the highlights. Don't mix from shadow to highlights. You have to take your time to master this very tool, the mixer brush. That's why we had to use the polygonal lasso tool. You could actually do the selection with directly start mixing without necessarily using the lasso tool. However, the lasso tool is easier for beginners. That's why we used it. Okay, so let's assume this is very okay by us. So we want to flatten the image so we can have a single layer. But then if you don't want to flatten, you can still leave it. Come to the top and create a new layer, and with your spot healing brush, okay, you want to look for the pimples on the face. Now on this new layer, we'll just ensure that our sample or layer is checked so that we can pick all the pimples and any other blemish that is on the skin. So we'll just pick them up and take them out. Now the reason why we had to create a new layer is simply because we want to work non-destructively. In case if there is any error, we can just simply delete that layer and we proceed. Okay, we don't need to go back and forth through history. Okay, that's the essence of using this. So you can off and on to see the difference, off and on to see the difference of what you've done so far. And if you're satisfied with what you have, you can just go straight ahead to flatten. But I'm not very comfortable with this image, so I want to crop it closely. The frame is not too good, so I think I'm going to crop it this way. Alright, I think I have a better frame now. So the next thing I want to do, there will be no need of flattening. I will duplicate this so I can smoothen the background. So in order for me to smoothen the background, I'll just select the image and do a content aware fill. So I'll select the image, select the image, select the image. So when I'm done selecting, I'll right click and click on fill and ensure that it is on content aware. Then I click OK. It's going to fill the background. Okay, it's going to fill everywhere with the background. So when it is done filling everywhere with the background, I'll come and select this very image and mask it out of the background. Okay, but before then, just wait. Let's be patient. Okay, it's done already. So with this, the next thing I want to do is come filter blur, so I can blur this very background completely. So my background is already blurred. Click OK, and then I want to hide this layer. Come to the layer below, come and select my maybe quick selection tool and select object. Once the object is selected, I would want to ensure that I refine my selections. Okay, so let me use my lasso tool. It's on a plus. Let me change the opacity to 0 and then minus. Okay, it's already on minus here. If it's not minus, you just press Alt key and it changes to minus. Okay, it changes to minus. It was actually on a plus, so I'm already okay. That was a mistake. I'm just supposed to plus and not minus. Alright, so here I'm supposed to minus. So I'll come to hold my Alt key and start selecting. Changes to minus, and then here will be plus. So we'll just add this, and then we minus this. place here. Alright, I trust you're getting it. If you have any challenge, just feel free to message me. I will be ready to attend to every challenge you are facing, so we can ensure that you are making the best of this course. Okay, so here I would want to add to this place and minus this. Alright, another scary part of changing background is hair. Okay, so here we'll also check the technique, the excellent technique of working changing backgrounds of hair so that they look very beautiful. All we need to do is to come, select and mask, and we select and mask. We will now use our brush. Okay, let's use a mask that is going to be very visible. So we use our brush, increase the size, and then brush around the hair. So this will refine the edges. Sorry, that's not the right brush. We look for refine edge brush. Okay, that's it. So we'll refine edge. We'll come to the edges and just click along the edges. You see what's happening? It's refining them. It's refining them. It's looking for the hair and refining it. Okay, it's looking for the hair, but you have to be careful not to go too inwards, because by the time you begin to go inwards, it will still affect it from the inside. Okay, so if I were to change the background completely, this would excellently work, and then we would have a beautiful image, okay, with the hair coming out absolutely well. Alright, so we've already selected the hair. Once we're done, we can decide to feather from here. Feather it by 3, click OK, and it's selected. So I come back, check this back, and add layer mask. Now it is an inverted layer mask. All I need to do is click on the mask and Ctrl I on my keyboard. When I Ctrl I on my keyboard, it brings it back. Okay, and I have a smoother background. Initially it was rough, now it is smooth. Okay, there is a mistake here, so I want to check this back and ensure that it is inside my mask. Okay, so I'll just add it. Feather. Remember, we feathered by 3. And so since it is dark, I will pick my brush, ensure that this is on the black, and I paint back. Okay, and ensure that this is 100%, and I paint back. So I haven't done that. I just Ctrl D on my keyboard, and there we go. We have a smooth background. Okay, we have a smooth background. Now we can also do one thing. We can come and add new backdrops. We can come and add new backdrops. Okay, we come and look for our background. So you just navigate to any location where your images are, and what I'm just looking for is my background folder. Okay, I can pick any background here. Let's assume I got this background here and I'm okay with it, or I'm okay with this very one. So I'll just open it. When I open it, I click and drag the background into that image and then expand it. Of course, when I'm done expanding and arranging it to the way I want it to be on the image, all I will need to do now is to transfer this mask by holding Alt on my keyboard and moving it upwards. Now it has actually transferred that mask already. Okay, I can also blur that if I want to, and then the other way I can do this is holding Alt on my keyboard and just clipping it to this. Okay, there is an advantage to doing it this way. I can blur the background without necessarily going back and forth. Okay, let's assume this background is okay by me, and I want to blur the background. All I just need to do is come, filter, Gaussian blur, and then I blur the background just a little. but this is kind of distracting and I don't want that. I just want the background to I just want the flower to come out a little. I don't really want that distraction. Okay, well, you get the idea. Just look for a background that is nice and that fits your image. Okay, the other thing I don't have on this image is a shadow on the original picture. So let me duplicate this image and bring it right above the background. Okay, and then I desaturate a Shift Control U, and then I come and change the blend mode to hard lights. So when I do that, it brings the shadows on the image to the background, so making it look real. Okay, now but the other challenge I have is when I was masking, I didn't really mask it the way I wanted, so I can come back and shift the edges of my mask so I can get a beautiful job. Okay, let's look for shift, smooth feather, shift. Let's assume the shifting is going to work for us. Alright, I've shifted it. So you can see. Okay, and then here let's assume we are doing this job in a haste. Let's assume we took our time and it is excellent. So there we go. We change the background. We can either change the background or we leave the background to be smooth. Okay, and then we off this layer and we have a smooth background, or we change the background and leave it this way. Alright, so there we go. That is it. Like I said, I love vignettes. So for me, this image will not really be everything yet, so I want to bring down my vignettes. So I want to add a vignette effect on this image. And how do I do that? Just add a curve layer. When I come to my curve layer, come to my layer, select this mask, hold my brush with the black this mask selected. I just paint over, so the vignette effect is just at the center. All I just need to do is just increase it so it can be uniform. Okay, there we go. We have a vignette effect. And then most photographers will just leave their pictures flat this way, but it is not advisable for you to leave your images flat this way. So you want to pop the colors even more. It's still loading. So if you want to pop the colors even more, what I would usually do, but the fastest way I would do that, is to come and select levels and then just add a little levels. Okay, let me just reset my workspace because I'm not getting what I want. So I'll just reset photography and then double click on this. Alright, so I'll add a little curve to make it pop, and then minus this to just brighten the brights. Okay, and then I'll come to another layer, add curves, and then increase, just modify it from here. It's a shortest, one of my quickest way of doing dodge and burn. So when I select the layer style and I'm here, make sure it's on blending options. I'll select this layer. Okay, let me shift it so you can see it very well. I'll select this layer, move this layer until the highlight disappears from the face. When it disappears, I'll hold Alt on my keyboard and separate it and reveal only the highlights. Once I'm satisfied with what is revealed, I click OK, and there we go. We have this image dodge and burn. Now these very spots, I wouldn't want the dodging to be on these places, so all I need to do is select the mask and ensure that black is selected on my keyboard. I have foreground selected, and then I just mask this off. And if the opacity is too much, all I just need to do is just reduce the opacity a little. Alright, and I've succeeded in dodging and burning this beautiful image. So there we go. I'm done with this. And if you have any question or any challenge with frequency separation or creating your own frequency separation action, feel free to contact us and we'll be ready to be of help to you. Thank you so much. See you in the next class.